Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk about is how money corrupts corporations, businesses. Right? I mean, the concept of a business or corporation is to make money, to make profit, right? Because it's for profit. If not, you'd be a non-profit. But no matter what, whether you're a for-profit or non-profit, it's still money, that you're dealing with. The non-profits are a little bit better, but is it really that much better? Because you're still paying employees, you're paying all these people, you're paying all this stuff just to get something down to somebody that's poor or to help somebody that that needs help, and that takes away from what the money that they get. I mean, it's silly. It's silly. Now for the for-profit companies, they don't give a flying fuck. And let me tell you something. I worked 25 years in corporate America. I worked for banking, insurance, pharmaceutical, the law industry, which was Tile Graphics, which is a graphics and multimedia company that only dealt with lawyers and court cases and judges and stuff like that. I worked for a pharmaceutical, like I said. I mean, those are most of the industries, and they were money-making industries. I made decent money at it, but did it serve any purpose in me other than just learning about how fucked up it is? No, never. It's really fucked up. The for-profit corporations, brokers and limpers, money corrupts them no matter what. An accounting firm, Ernst & Young, they had partners. It was all controlled by 8 partners, and they all made millions of dollars a year on top of their $1 million bonuses. Millions of dollars of bonuses. For these 10, I think it was 10 partners that owned the company. They had 280,000 people employed worldwide, and all they did was show rich people how to avoid paying taxes. That's what I saw. That's it. Other than that, it's like, they had little accounts here and there, but that was the big one. That's the one, the men are making one for them. So banking is just ridiculous too, because it's all of these industries, they all deal with this money, and it all corrupts them. It all corrupts. Banking, of course, with loans and gets such an interest rate on loans. So you lend somebody money and then you get it back with a big. And if you don't get it back, you just take the car or take the house or take whatever and then sell that and you make money. So no matter what, for-profit corporations, which is will be forced to, because they have to pay employees, they have to pay they have to pay all these things. Even if they were all the corporations are non-profit, it still was a big waste of fucking time. You're paying employees so that they can go in and pay for their living, earn a living so they can go pay for it. And at the end, you waste so much time paying and receiving. Man, you could have got so much more accomplished in civilization. You could have found the cure for cancer, found all these. I mean, you could have been flying your wings by now, but it's not. You're not, because the bottom line is that it's still contrary to what the entire universe is doing. There's no monetary system in the universe. There's no monetary system on Mother Earth. There's no monetary system with the trees giving us oxygen. There's no monetary system with the sun providing us light. There's no monetary system except in the human civilization. And the human civilization is corrupt to the bone, is ridiculous, has a lot of problems that no one can fix. And it's all due to money. Because no matter what, say if we had these corporations, these companies that had no money, didn't use money, and what do? They provide partner. First of all, the competition between companies is ridiculous, right? So you have all these different products, and they're, like I said before, you have products for the rich and products for the poor. You can't afford the products for the rich if you're poor, and if you're rich, why would you buy a poor thing when you can just buy the products for the rich? And the middle class are in the middle somewhere. Their purpose is to make profit. If you don't make profit, then the people who own the company, or if it's in part of the stock market, which is another ridiculous fucking crap, it doesn't feed the stock market and the people that that bought stock in it and get dividends and get all this money because they it's a publicly traded company. But private companies like Ernst & Young, they just they just bring in the money, and then they feel that the head accountants, the people that control the company, deserve it. Man, these people's risking their lives. Firefighters, police officers, risking their lives every fucking day for a fraction of the price that these assholes fucking made. But their bonus structures, like they were making, I did a bonus application. Shh, don't tell anybody. I can get sued for this. Bonus application for Ernst & Young when I was there for a year, and that fucking thing. These guys are making $10-15 million each, and then on top of that, you got a 10, 15, sometimes $20 million bonus every year. Meanwhile, people were getting laid off. Companies are outsourcing, and outsourcing is another ridiculous thing. Right? I talked about that in one other. Outsourcing is just you're going to a foreign country, hiring these people that for a fraction of the price, and then pulling those jobs away from the Americans that need the money to pay for this. And then you're going into these countries and paying these people so much money. But even if it's $5 an hour, in India, like $5 an hour, you still don't. It's like there's only a fraction of the population that's making that. But then that means that they can spend more money. So then of course that's inflation. The money goes up to match what they can spend. And then the poor people around there have to suffer for instead of buying a piece of bread for 50 cents, now they have to pay $1.52 because a fraction of the population is making more money. It is ridiculous in a sense because all we do as society is charge each other to live, and then profit from that charge. That's not the way society should be run. Civilization should be run. There's, like I said, nowhere else. Oh, there's nowhere, nothing else is smart enough, really? You think you're smarter than the sun? You think you're smarter than the fucking Mother Earth? You think you are smarter than the whole universe that created all this? Go create a universe with planets that are perfectly in line and that creates a planet that is perfectly suited for a human being. Go ahead, go do that. Let me see how well you can create one of those. And you tell me how much smarter you are than the universe because you have a fucking a monetary system. It's wasting your fucking time. You know how many lives are wasted? I mean, every lifetime is wasted because you don't have time. Time management. Yeah, time management. What's fun? 8 hours to 12 hours working a day. Freaking, you got 8 hours. You have to sleep to be able to get up to go to that job, and then you have 8 hours to like 4 hours that you can do whatever you want to do. Well, that's usually taking care of money, managing money, protecting money. We're a civilization. All we do is protect money. That's it. And because we're protecting money, we're protecting the wealth class, right? The wealth class that has fed us this money, and it's nothing more than it's something. Instead of the whip, you got instead of the whip, you have the carrot. The carrot is the people chasing after money. You don't have to whip them anymore because after a while you whip the slaves and they can't work because you whip them to death. But now you take you make them the carrot and you make them chase after that money all the way to the grave, and they got nothing else. Done. Their whole lifetime is wasted. Their karma wasn't realized. And the few that actually had enough of it and actually join a Buddhist monastery or something, maybe they'll make it out of here. But that's a fraction of and then that's why we have 7 billion people. Over 7 billion people, almost 8 billion people on this planet. 7.5 billion, I think it is. It's all controlled by that 500 million. And actually 2,000 billionaires that then control the 750 million middle class, and then the rest is poverty. It's ridiculous, man. Because if the body worked like that, it wouldn't work. The body would not work if it worked for profit. And like I said, it's cancer. This is for profit. competitive cells. Every other cell of the body is working together in harmony with no financial, reward for their job. They don't need it. A tree doesn't have to. Yeah, a tree, I have some money for you. It's like, oh yeah, just give me a slice of myself back. Thanks, you can keep it. And that is the problem. No matter what, corporations, any corporation, any for-profit, and even the non-profits are corrupt. They're corrupt to the bone because they're taking something that Mother Earth gave us for free, and whatever they did to make it better, like you build a car, but that all came from steel. That came from rubber. That all came from these things that were made from from Mother Earth that was free, and then you sell it off to somebody. So that, it's sad. And most people don't have that, living from paycheck to paycheck. They even get a paycheck. That in itself is the thing that is stopping the ascension process of the souls that come in here is stunting it completely, and that's stopping the evolution of humanity. We should be much more evolved. You, I mean, like I said, we, but I'm not human. You should be much more evolved as a civilization than you are now. Mayans were much more evolved than you. Much more evolved. But, you know, they had to leave because you were about to slaughter them for the gold, so they ended up just creating an interdimensional portal and just going out to another planet. And that's where they are now, somewhere else. Another dimension that, you know, doesn't have you to come and slaughter them. You think about it, you know. Oh, you got to worry about job loss. Oh my God. Only a fraction of the, and then you got to worry about somebody having better than you, and you're like 50 years old, and some young kid comes in and takes your job because he's they're paying him half the price, and he's better because he's learned more. He went to school. I mean, you have to worry about having not enough to have 2 jobs to make enough for a living. You know, all these stresses. You know, oh, it's vacation. They give you a vacation, 1 week vacation. You know, and if you don't like it, go somewhere else. You know, we have 100 people, 200 people, 1,000 people waiting for your job as soon as you leave. Right? And you have to do background checks and this and that. You want to get the perfect employee to sit there and that represent you, right? Perfect employee. That's not how it works, I mean. Then again, that social class becomes the same thing. That perfect employee that gets a job becomes middle class, maybe. And so the middle class and the upper class and the wealth class were taken care of. Like, you know, just like the slave master and the house slaves were taken care of much more than the field slaves. Right? And it's just another form of slavery. Corporations are another form of slavery. That's all it is. And you think about it. Imagine if okay, now the other side of it, if you ran with this concept of, you know, everything is free, and you don't have to compete anymore. Competition is just a waste of, competition doesn't make a better product. Oh shit. What makes a better product is getting together with as many people as you can, and then getting ideas, and then always forming the best one. We already have the best ones, we think, but they're nowhere close. You know, batteries could be. They can make batteries that last forever, but yet they make batteries that only last a little time because they need the profit. You know, and then we have to go run around and buy more batteries and buy more batteries and buy more. You know, it's ridiculous. And if we all work together to build one thing, right? One car, one engine, the best engine. Pick it, Lamborghini, whatever it is. Pick it. That's the best engine, the best form of the car. And then make different body shapes of it, and maybe you can imitate any body shape that's out there, or make it advanced body shape, or different colors, and you can make everything you're making now. But just pick the best one and give it to everybody for free instead of charging people for it. Then you won't have this thing as oh my God, which one should I choose? Which one should I choose? Because, you know, advertisement is bullshit. Advertisement is a lie. Advertisement is telling you to buy this product. You don't need advertisement in a system like that. Right? You work 4 hours a day. Yeah. You know, what do you do? It's like, and you can have robotics come in and actually start building. You know, robotics start building the things that you need to build. You know, instead of having human beings. But the thing of it is now, if robotics come in, they will take human jobs, and then all of a sudden these humans don't have work, and they're not working. But in a system like, you know, you only work 4 hours a day, and you have 4 hours a day, and you have 20 hours. You do whatever you want to do. You can sleep if you want to. If you don't have to sleep, and I sleep there. I'm calling in sick. It's like, it's okay. You know, look, we have 4 people waiting for your job. Because then you have, with 7 billion people working, you can have backups that are just kind of hanging out waiting, and then you can switch the person doing it to being a backup, so they don't feel like, I'm always working and the backup's always waiting. You can call in sick and then take a week off, and it's like, well, take the month off. Don't worry. Just make sure you feel better. You know, you're fired because you didn't come in at 8:15. You know, there's none of that happening. You know, you better buy. You know, there's none of that happening. There's no. You know, management fucking, you know, being chewed up because they let their employees come in late or leave early. Right? None of that. You want to take off for I'm going to take vacations, and here they give you one week vacation after like 3 years, and after that they give you incremental like 1 days. You know, I got a week and a half a day. When you're in if in a system like that, 4 hours, you want to take. I want to take off because I want to go to maybe to somewhere, you know, Europe or something, maybe South America for a couple of weeks. Go for a couple of months. Go for a month or so. Don't worry about it. None of that. You go, I'm sorry, I'm here and I have to stay another week because stay another 2 weeks. It doesn't matter. You see, because they're in this system, robotics would start taking place of humans doing the manual work, and then the humans, all they do is kind of watch the robotics and push. Oh, what's that? Oh, shit! It broke down. Okay, so I just push this button when it breaks down, and then another robot comes in and fixes it. It's not like we don't know the work, but we don't have to do it, so we can focus on other things. Focus on the things that are important, like finding the cures for diseases, like finding out finding out exactly what your thing is that will allow you to ascend out of this lifetime, to continue your ascension process as a soul. So you can there's nobody controlling and dominating and stunting your growth, because the billionaire class stunts the growth of the poor class, stunts the ascension process of the souls that are stuck in the poor class, because they keep on reincarnating back in the poor class. They've learned how to control that, and themselves to when they die, they reincarnate back as their grandson or something, because they've controlled that. There is a way to control that through the Tibetans know that, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. There's a way to control the soul leaving the body. You can control it coming back into your, that's how they know that they're the reincarnated, the Buddha, or the Dalai Lama reincarnated over and over again is that same soul. They know how to do that, and then of course the wealth classes rip that up and now you're using it to control the ascension process of the poor class, stopping them and forcing them to come back. That's why there's 7 billion or something like that. There shouldn't be. Souls should have ascended a long time ago, but they're stuck here. They don't know. They don't know about karma. They don't know about reincarnation. They don't understand the things that they have to do to overcome that reincarnation, that karma, so then they can ascend out of here. And that's what the corporate life does. It is literally strangling the poor class, and using them, manipulating them through media and through propaganda and through the political system, controlling them into fighting each other, into fearing, into war, into shooting each other, into drug use, into excessive alcohol use, and it's just addictions. They know how to manipulate reality at that point where we are slaves. Again, I'm part of this right now, but I'm from another star system, Arcturus, and I was asked to come down here. I said it again, by God, because they needed help. God needs help, or actually the human being needs help to not avoid another annihilation, another wiping off of this civilization and starting from scratch. When you have a program and it doesn't work, and no matter what you do, that virus is still in there and it's affecting the actual program. After a while, you just say, yeah, you can't do it. No matter the program, you can't do it. You just you do away with that system and you build another one. You keep on fixing something that just isn't fixable. And there's nothing in the society that can fix the problems that we have as a society, because money, the thing that we consider more important than human life, the thing that we consider almost like a god, it is God. I mean, you can see all these songs based on that. You see all these songs, man, and movies and things about the wealth class and these things are what is stunting our growth. We're wasting our time. It's wasting the time of a soul that needs to do more than it should do, than it's doing. It needs to do more than it's doing because it doesn't know, because it's trapped here. An eternal, and that in a sense is exactly what the concept of hell is. We live in the same day over and over and over again for eternity. And that's what it seems to do. But the problem is that this is not eternity. They're gonna keep on doing that over and over again, unless they happen to maybe go into a Buddhist temple and become a Buddhist monk and then just learn about that real thing, or they the annihilation of the civilization, which then takes the whole group of souls and brings them back down to the pool of creation, waiting for God to create another civilization that hopefully this time will overcome that virus. And that virus is money. Money is the virus. Money is the Antichrist, like I said. And the Messiah, don't look up looking for Jesus to come down. The Messiah is a human being that has a choice. He has a choice to choose spirituality, connecting to Mother Earth, connecting to it, or greed, money, and profit. And every time that you're given that choice, you choose greed, money, and profit. And that's it. And so that's what corporations do. And they're corrupt to the bone. And the for-profit system now, again, it's just communism. No, communism wasn't any better. Communism still required money. Again, if you try to do it with money still in the equation, eventually it's going to corrupt it, which is what happened to communism. Eventually it just corrupted it. It made a black market that still sold the things to people who had money. So there was still an upper rich class, even though they were trying not to do it. And communists, and even Cuba is like that too. It's the same thing. You have like the military that is living better. They're eating steaks, while the people are like suffering through. It is the bottom line. It is imperative that money is ripped out of the equation, and these monetary systems be ripped out of the equation for the human being and the human soul to ascend out of here. And again, you're going to be stuck here, just like you're stuck in 11th grade, or it's more like second grade. You're stuck in second grade for the rest of your life. Actually, you're stuck in second grade for eternity until that eternity is ended by the annihilation of and the wiping off of the civilization and trying again. So you wipe off the board and you try again. That's what God keeps on trying to do with the human, because the human experiment is the only one and that's because that's the only one that He's put such a strong. Because again, you want to entice the human into this choosing the right, enticing you choosing the wrong choice. But it's when that human is evolved enough to then choose the right choice, and then make that a global, a global standard. That's when you finally have overcome that virus. You overcome it, and that's when God, it says, well, hey, I think it worked this time. So I've been saying this for a long time in different ways, but sometimes screaming because I was getting that information poured down to me to say. It's just incredible. And I've said it so many times, different ways, and trying to make it work. And like I said, I've asked God plenty of times to just get me out of here because this is not working. This is another big man. She said it, just wait it out. Last time I talked to her, I'm not talking to her since, but she did say, I was like, well, we're trying to get you out now. We're trying to get her out. So just keep on doing it for a little longer. We are trying to get you out now. So that's what my hopes are. Because like I said in the last one, I am sick to my stomach, over the civilization and what they do to each other. Sick. And you think if I'm sick, you can imagine what God feels like. Like you're cooking, you make a souffle or something, and it keeps on dropping. What the hell, man? Why does it keep on dropping at this point? Let me try a little bit. That's what it is. It keeps on trying, and then gets failed by this thing. It's sad. It's very sad to know that there was hope for the civilization, and that hope is slowly fading away. Faded away with me a long time ago, but with your Creator, that had hopes all the way in. But so because He cannot, He cannot predict your future. No, I can't. But He can't. But He's hoping that this time it works out. Because time is different. I mean, He can look into the future and see what happens, but that's almost creating it to happen. So He's focused on what are they doing now. It's like, well, they're still profiting from each other. They got 4 profits, and these people on top is it the parasites? Yeah, it's the parasites taking care of the billionaire class. So that's what always happens in every civilization before you. The same thing happened. It got to the point where it was ridiculous. I said to the guy, it's back to the snake eating its own tail. I was like, oh God, not again. That's what happens, and that's where you always fail, always. So think about it, try to change it. I know there's enough humans out there to get together and change it, but do they have the more? No, they don't have the time. They're running around freaking chasing money, and they don't have the time. So hasta la vista, baby.